What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and today will be the full review of the Dirt Devil Quick-Lite Cyclonic Bagless Upright Compact Vacuum Cleaner. Now, I'm going to preface this with an apology because I just got my second dose of the COVID vaccine the day before, and needless to say, I have not reacted to it very kindly. Or I should say the vaccine has not reacted to me very kindly. So if the videos are a little bit spare for the next couple days, my apologies. That's why I was really sick yesterday. Not like painfully sick, but sick enough to where doing a video wasn't really a good idea. It wasn't like dying or nothing, but still. So, and then obviously today I'm still a little bit odd feeling, if that makes sense. So I feel fine, but I feel a bit weird, if that makes sense. So anyways, back to this machine. Hopefully that explains if this video kind of comes off as a little bit weirder than my reviews normally are, because I'm not normal. Well, to be fair, I was never normal to begin with, so there's not really a good baseline. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So this Dirt Devil is one that I got pretty recently. My landlord dropped this off for me because basically he knows that I collect and fix vacuums, so if he ever finds them, he brings them to me just, to hopefully help out, and maybe it's one that I want, maybe it's one I can fix up. So, that works out. And this is the first one that he's brought, and the only thing that was wrong with it is, well, there's a couple things wrong with it. So the first thing is that this dirt cup release right here is broken. So as you can see, I have it taped on because this doesn't actually clamp into place properly. So it'll clamp in, like it'll click, but it's not enough to actually go over whatever clip is inside of here. So the second you try to move the machine or pick this up, it just would fall off. So some tape fixed that issue, although it's obviously not an elegant solution. Dirt Devil doesn't sell that part anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much a deal breaker, because this would seem like the kind of normal anomaly thing that would happen with an abused vacuum, given the fact this vacuum is 10 years old. But every single review that I found of this machine has mentioned that that clip on the dirt cup is very prone to premature failure. And as a result, I can immediately say, right out the gate, I don't recommend this. And that's perfectly fine, because this machine is no longer available for sale. It's been replaced by the Dirt Devil Power Express. It was replaced by like a similar one called like the Dynamite 2 Cyclonic, or actually that might have came before this one, but either way, that machine is pretty similar. And then obviously the Power Express and that sort of stuff is what replaced this in the compact upright in Dirt Devil's lineup. So that's that. But yeah, so this thing is, kind of bad. But if you had paid like $20 for this back in the day, not a big deal. So the only other thing that was actually wrong with it is there's nothing wrong, really, normally wrong with it as far as wear items. There was no clogs in it. The filter was okay. So you access the filter. There's a little button right here that you just press, and this top part pops up. Again, I could show that, but that would require me to undo this tape. And so you just pop this off and see the filter. I already did a full service video on this, so if you need to see anything like that, then I'll put that link in the description in case you want to see any of this stuff. So obviously release the dirt cup down here. It has a little cyclone in here, very similar to the Breeze Cyclonic, where you can just turn it and pop it straight out for cleaning. That is a nice feature. That is a little bit of a better setup than the one in the current model, but the newer model is still overall better. So the other thing, there was an attachment here. I don't know where it went, so it's obviously missing. It's also possible that this would have had a crevice tool and a dusting brush, because they could have had them stacked, because on the Power Express you actually can stack the two attachments together. You can put the crevice tool and then put the dusting brush on top of it to make it a little bit longer. So I'm assuming that's what happened here. They probably have the crevice tool and then the dusting brush, or just some sort of a combination tool. That's missing, but we do have just a pretty normal hose. So it's just a basic plastic hose, although it actually is a decent length. Like, this is a perfectly good enough length to clean your couches and that sort of a thing. So that is one thing I do like about it, is that while this is the plastic hose, it gives you plenty of reach considering how compact this machine is. And when you compare it to something like the equivalent Power Force Compact, or honestly even a lot of the Power Force Helix vacuums, this actually does have better reach because the hose is physically longer. So that is one good thing about this. And it has this little loop on it, kind of like the old Power Forces used to have, although it's obviously very kind of dinky and it's just one little loop, but it is still there. So if you want to vacuum, I guess if you want to hold it like this and loop one finger through it so you can hold on to the hose, I mean, I guess I don't really see, there's not too much of a point to that, but I guess it doesn't hurt to have it there. So if you still want to pull this out, you can just grab it like that, pull it right out, and replace it. So also, you have this lower hose down here, very similar to a lot of other uprights. You got one screw to pull off to remove this if you want to undo it for clog removal. You have a single cord winder up here that's reversible. You have another one down here, but that one's not reversible, so if you need to quick release the cord, that's nice. You do have that feature. I know like some Eurekas back in the day didn't have that feature. This does, so at least you can easily remove the cord. It's a relatively short cord, and so you're not going to get a whole ton of reach with it. It's about an 18-foot cord. So I forgot to look up the actual length of the cord, but if it's different, then I'll add that in the description as well. And there's a little cord protector right here, which on this particular unit has split off, but the actual cord is okay, so I'm not too worried about that. You have a foot-mounted power switch, so that's what you'd expect. And you actually have a pedal release lock that you can press, and then it turns down. But you know, you don't have the option to press it again to go low underneath furniture, so with this dirt cup assembly, you're not really going to get underneath any sort of a furniture. And the other thing is that this is so, like, just, you know, minuscule in terms of its ability to actually hold it up, that you can still just push on it with your foot and recline it back, just like many other Dirt Devils. So that little latch doesn't really hold it in place much, but it does still have a latch, which I do prefer to, you know, those sort of friction things, although the latches do tend to break on a lot of cheap machines like this. But this one isn't broken, so it doesn't seem to be too big of a flaw. And then going to the bottom, oh, see, like, there's my point, is that if you try to just lower this thing down, it just pops up. I don't know what that is. I'll have to get that off there. But as you can see, we have three little height adjustment wheels. This has an automatic height adjustment. There's no sort of height adjustment. So if you have a low pile carpet, then this is fine. But if you have a medium or kind of a thick pile carpet, I would not buy this, because this doesn't have any sort of a height adjustment, so you can't actually raise it to where it needs to be. And as a result, the way this is designed, you're going to burn through these belts, because this is the this is the Dirt Devil Style 15 belt. And these belts on these Dirt Devils that don't have height adjustments, especially these compact ones, burn through very quickly, and that's not good. So you're going to be replacing belts very often in this machine, and it's going to be very frustrating. You're going to hear the belt slipping, and it's not going to perform well as it does whenever you have a new belt in it. So, but you do have a few screws that you can just remove the belt and the brush roll, just like many other machines. So that is good. And you do have a squeegee on here to use it on bare floors, but this machine is not bare floor friendly, so I wouldn't use this on bare floors. The other thing I will say is that when the belt on this is good, this thing actually does perform very well. Do you see all that hair in there? Yeah, that's from me vacuuming this living room after already vacuuming it with another machine. And that machine in question was that Bissell over there. So yeah, and this living room was just vacuumed with this Hoover, so we're going to see if this thing picks up anything else. So that is one thing, is that even though this thing is built very poorly, its performance, whenever the belt on it is good, is actually very good. The filtration on this is non-existent, but for the price point that this machine was originally in, you don't expect that. You're not going to get something like that out of something like this. But if you have something like an apartment, I could see how you'd want something like this, although I still would not recommend it. You know, mainly just because if you have an apartment that's mostly all carpet and it's a very low pile carpet, and you have, you know, that throughout the most majority of your house, then I think this could be okay, as long as you don't mind having the really bad filtration and constantly having to change these belts. I would say get an air purifier or something to help with the air quality a little bit, and you could probably get away with something like this. But I still think there are better options out there, even in this price range. I honestly think that spending the extra couple bucks and getting a bagged Power Force would be a better option for everybody. And if you really need something that's compact like this, and you really need something to like get into crevices, then I think the Bissell equivalent of this would be better, or even the newer Dirt Devil equivalent of this. But this particular machine, while its performance is very good, a lot of these Dirt Devils do clean very well. It's just the fact that you have so many anomalies with the maintenance, and obviously you have this main design flaw. This is mainly what kills it for me, is this design flaw with this button. So that's the biggest reason why I can't recommend this. But again, this isn't for sale anymore anyway, so you're likely going to be finding one of these secondhand. And if you find one of these secondhand for like $5 or $10, I mean, any vacuum at that price is worth picking up. I don't care how bad it is. $5-10 is worth it, just because why not? And, you know, if this thing happens to be broken, then I guess put some tape on it like I did, and slap a belt on it, clean the filters up, make sure it's not clogged, make sure the brush roll's good, and you got a nice cheap little burner vac for if you have a very small apartment and that sort of a thing, and you just want something that'll get the job done in a pinch. Then yeah, this will do the trick. But yeah, it's nothing special. It's definitely not something that you would be proud of having per se as a vacuum. But if you have really low pile carpets, you have maybe like a 1-bedroom apartment with like that's covered in low pile carpets, then yeah, I think this could be a decent option, as long as you don't care about the filtration. So that's the use case where I think that this would really thrive. But even then, it's still not my first choice. Again, the newer Dirt Devil Power Express is better than this in every way. So, you know, that would be a better option. Or the aforementioned Bissell Power Force Compact. Or Eureka also has their Airspeed Lite line, although I haven't tried any of those machines, so I can't really speak on the quality of those. But there are other machines. If you really want a super lightweight but still a full-size upright, or I should say a compact but still a full-size style of upright, then I would say this isn't the best option. But I mean, again, you know, even though this is probably one of the worst, you could still do worse, because for the right use case, I could see this being appropriate for someone's house. Or, well, not house, for someone's apartment. For a house like this is incredibly inappropriate, unless you're using this like just for stairs, you know, because it's kind of a small enough upright, you could probably get away with using this on like carpeted stairs. So that could work. It'd be kind of awkward, but you could do it. And then also if you had maybe like if you use this for 1 bedroom, that sort of a thing, because like these bedrooms that I have, very small bedrooms, very short pile carpet, this good option. So if maybe like you had someone living with you and they were living in one of your bedrooms, they wanted a vacuum just for their bedroom, especially if you don't like them, give them this, and there you go. So on that note, I think we'll go ahead and give this thing a run, because this is probably one of the most boring machines that I reviewed recently, but what are you gonna do? Gotta get videos out somehow. So yeah, we'll give this a run. Oh, and also, in classic cheap Dirt Devil quality, it's very loud. So, headphone warning, you've been warned. Well, I will say, cause see, this is why I like using the machine in the actual review, because then it can remind me of stuff that my scatterbrain will often forget about. For example, this upper cord hook, nice to have. It's kind of an awkward spot, but it is there. That is nice. Also, one thing I do like, this handle is very comfortable. This is probably the best feeling handle that I felt on a vacuum in this price range. And the nice thing about this, or I should say, actually, I don't know if this has the same flaw the new handles do, where a lot of people on the newest Power Express, the one you can currently buy that I unboxed a couple months ago, a lot of people will put that handle on backwards. This one, it's kind of more idiot proof, because obviously you're not going to use it like this. So most people figure out that, oh, I'm supposed to hold it like this, meaning that if it's the other way, that it's obviously on wrong. So that's nice. This is a very nice handle, and it actually feels very comfortable. The machine is very lightweight, not a lot to it. So if you have trouble with machines and you really need something lightweight, then that can be a good option. So that's another thing that I forgot to mention, is even if a full-size upright is more appropriate for your house, there are legitimately some people that can't use a full-size upright because it's too heavy. And I know some people say, oh, Oryx don't have tools. So for those people, yeah, and a full-size upright would be more ideal, but what good is it if you can't use it? So in that case, something like this, good option. Still not a perfect vacuum, but it is appropriate in some cases. And again, the biggest problem I have is just that little flaw. But now that it's fixed, yeah, not too bad. You can see it did get a good amount of stuff. Not much to complain about there. So yeah, that's my review of the Dirt Devil Quick-Lite Cyclonic. Hopefully I covered everything. And if I didn't, well, this machine's not for sale anymore anyways, so hopefully it's not going to be too consequential. But still, I like doing reviews on pretty much whatever I can at this point. Ideally, I would review every vacuum that comes into the studio, but that's just not always possible. But I try to do it whenever I can. So anyways, this is Intelitech Studio signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the full review of the Dirt Devil Quick-Lite Cyclonic UD20020. I think I remembered that correctly. And for those who want to see the serial date again, this was manufactured in 2011. You can see the code J11A. There you go. It's a 7-amp motor, as you'd expect for something like this. So decently low power draw compared to other machines that'd be like 10, 12 amps. So there's that as well. Energy efficient. And if you are in a one-bedroom apartment where running the microwave and the toaster at the same time will cause the breaker to trip, then yeah, this might be a more tolerable vacuum to actually use just from that alone. So yeah, this is Intelitech Studio signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.